Welcome to this new video about Forza Horizon 6, in which I'm simply going to show you the list of cars that are currently the best in terms of acceleration, the ones that simply accelerate the fastest. This is a video that will be very useful to you because cars with a lot of acceleration are very useful for many types of events, both for official drag races, which are represented by this little red logo, and for open-world drags. So here, let's say it's multiplayer drag racing out in the open world, but also for speed traps or possibly certain speed zones. These won't necessarily be the best cars overall because, well, they don't always have very good top speeds, and especially, as you'll often see, they're not very good in corners. But that's not a problem. So if you're looking for the cars with the most acceleration, I think you've really come to the right place. I'll show you the best cars in each performance category every time, and I'll also give you some tuning setups for each one. I'll give you the share codes so you can try them out yourself. I'll tell you how to get the different cars I'm going to show you, especially when they're cars you can't necessarily buy at the dealership. If you have other cars to suggest, feel free to let me know. Of course, put their name in the comments and say which category you would recommend them for. It'll help others who see this later, and me too. You might help me find great cars and give me a chance to make another video on the topic. We're going to start with the smallest category of cars, and you'll see that in the first 4 categories, maybe even the first 5, the cars that are really the best in acceleration are not at all the ones you would expect. These cars start off as big clunkers but become excellent after upgrades, despite being uninspiring in stock form. For example, for D-Class, I'm going to recommend this car. It's the Reliant Robin. It's a car that's extremely strange looking, and above all, it only has 3 wheels. Initially, this car lacks acceleration, but with the upgrades and tuning I'll show you, it should become extremely fast. You can buy this car at the dealership for 37,000 credits, so it's affordable. Next, install this tuning setup. I'll show the share code now. I'm showing you the intermediate track, which is about 1 kilometer long. I think there's an even longer one. There must also be a slightly shorter track, but it doesn't matter because the cars I'm showing you today are always meta for all these tracks. Yeah, 19 seconds, and especially 260 for a car in D-Class, which is really huge. The weird cars are going to keep coming for a bit in this video. With the best acceleration car in Category C, it's the 1932 Ford Coupe. So this one's an old-timer, but it's the same thing. Even though originally it's a car that really doesn't go fast, with upgrades, it's going to become a monster. It's a car you can buy for 34,000 credits at the new car dealership, so it's also really easy to get. And you're going to install this exact tuning setup with this little share code. I'll also point out that in this category, you can use the Reliant Robin with, well, a C-Class setup. It's still a good car, even though personally, I find it's a little bit slower than the Ford Coupe, especially when you start getting onto drag strips that are a bit longer. So for this one or the intermediate track, it's better to take this one than the Reliant Robin, even though on the really short drag strip, both are pretty evenly matched. So here, it's the same. I'm going to show you a quick acceleration run with this car. Nothing original remains here either. You'll see that it's going to go really fast. Let me remind you that in the game, you also need to activate launch control for drag racing. I'll show you how to activate it in just a moment. But it allows you to accelerate with the car at the optimal engine speed. We're going to optimize it so it launches as quickly as possible. And here, it's the same. We're going to go well over 300 km/h, which for a car in Category C is usually quite difficult. I'll show you how to activate launch control while I'm at it. You need to go to difficulty, and here, control settings, set it to yes. And to use launch control, you then have to press the handbrake button. On Xbox, press A, then the accelerator. It will automatically hold at the optimal RPM for launch. Let's move on to Category B. So in Category B, the Ford Coupe I showed you earlier and the Reliant Robin are still perfectly playable. But there's a car that appears in the meta. And I'm sorry, it still looks like a car for trolling. Honestly, that's kind of the case. But I assure you, the PLP 50, which is the car I'm showing you here, is a monster. This one is also available at the dealership and it only costs 19,000, so it's really not expensive. And then, if you're mostly doing shorter straight line runs, like the short drag strip, use this setup. If you're going for the intermediate or the long one, this setup really does the trick with this tuning code. And now, get ready guys, because it's insanely powerful. However, it really becomes a handful when it comes to pure driving. You can even do big wheelies with this car if you want. So here, it's the same process as the Reliant Robin. It's a very light car, only 3 wheels, and a motorcycle engine that's going to be fully upgraded to deliver massive acceleration. We had a false start, but it's fine. We just won't get a time. So, on the other hand, The P50 is actually a pretty difficult car to handle for the simple reason that, as you can see, its single wheel is at the back, unlike the Reliant Robin where it's at the front. So, all the power goes to the rear wheel, making the car hard to handle. So, be careful when you accelerate with it. Stay really focused for, let's say, the first 100 or 200 meters, keep it straight. And once you go past 200 km/h after that, it's smooth sailing. And for your information, the P50 is also the best drag car in Category A, unlike in Forza Horizon 5 where it was limited to Category B. In Horizon 6 and A as well, it's a beast. I'll show you another setup with the same code. I'll quickly accelerate and we'll see the same issue as with this car in Category B. It's hard to handle. Really, it's a pure straight line car and that's it. Alright, let's get ready. So here, same thing. You have to stay really focused for the start. You must not lose control of the car. This car can, in theory, run the festival track drag race in under 13 seconds. That's pretty crazy. Come on, go, you see? Yeah, you really need to be wide awake. Once it regains grip, it hits about 250 km/h. After that, there's no problem at all. And here you see, even without pushing it, we reach 13 seconds without even having a particularly good start. Next, we'll move on to the Honda Beat, which will equip an S-Class with this 170, 290, 256 setup. So, you know this car well if you've watched my live streams, because it's with this car that I've taken part in quite a few drag races, but it's also the car I used to complete. A lot of speed trap zones, well, not drag, sorry, 3-star speed traps, but also the danger signs. I forgot to mention earlier that the danger signs on straight lines, like the cars I showed you, are often a great combo. You'll often have very light cars that have a lot of acceleration. So obviously, it works well. It's also a very cool car because it's not expensive. It's a car you can buy at the dealership for 14,000 credits. It's a very light car, and with this setup, you can actually install the engine from the Toyota Super Racing version. So you'll get about 1,300 horsepower in a car that's still extremely light. So we had a false start, but that's okay. As you can see, in any case, we easily reach almost 400 km/h at the ramp here. Now, let me show you another setup you can install in S2 class on this car, with this code. And now, we're getting to a point in the video where we need to talk a bit about a problem that concerns the meta in Forza Horizon 6. For the drag section, the part focused on cars with extreme acceleration. Because starting from the S2 class and above, there are no normal cars that are meta anymore. That is to say, well, yes, the Honda Beat is really good, and it will remain very good for straight-line acceleration. But let's say that even on a good day, even with the best tuning, this car won't come close to the truly meta cars. In the S2 class, the ones with the best acceleration in that class. For the simple reason that all the meta drag cars and all the best acceleration cars from S2 onwards are either extremely hard to get or, well, basically paid DLC cars. Because, for example, in S2 you'll find the Forza Edition Viper. That's a car that's only available with the VIP pack, if I'm not mistaken. You'll also find, if I'm not mistaken, the Forza Edition GTR, which isn't a DLC car. By the way, I'll show you a bit of gameplay with it, because it's a rocket. You'll use this setup. It's with this car and this setup, among others, that you'll really be able to beat everyone in multiplayer, everyone in a straight line, because it's a rocket. It's incredible what they've done with this car. It has almost 3,000 horsepower, just to give you an idea. To give you an idea of what we're dealing with. On the other hand, it doesn't turn at all. But the problem is that this car, well, clearly, it's ultra meta. Like there's nothing that can compete with this car. And it's a car that, well, you can only get in a wheel spin or a super wheel spin. That means the only way to get this car is to be lucky. That's it. It's not more complicated than that. Either that, or buy it in the auction house from another player who's selling it. But the thing is, now everyone knows it's an insane car, so the players who had it before don't sell it anymore. Actually, they keep it for themselves because, well, nothing rivals it. There's one car, maybe, that could possibly come close to this one, but still, honestly, it stays behind. The Nissan in Forza can compete with the Nissan, though it will always be slower. And above all, well, this car, like I said, it's not a conventional car. What the fuck? What is he doing in front? It's a car that you'll only be able to get on the aftermarket if I'm not mistaken. That means to buy it, you have to be lucky in the aftermarket shops. It has to pop up. And it does pop up from time to time next to the drag strip. I recently showed you a quick video method to get it. Actually, I'll sum it up for you quickly. You just need to buy all the cars that pop up in that spot, and eventually, it will show up. There are 5 or 6 cars to buy, and after a while, you'll come across it. That's the only way to get it, so that means you'll still have to be patient to get it. Because sometimes, Even if you have all the cars from the area, they don't always show up. It can take several hours of gameplay, so it's a pain to get. But this car is really broken in S2R and even X-Class. For R-Class, I'll recommend this setup, and for X-Class this setup, knowing that, like I explained, this car is pretty hard to get. Sorry, you'll need luck to get it quickly in the aftermarket. And knowing that in R-Class, just like in S2, the only meta cars are going to be cars that are very hard to get. You can also find the Forza Edition Tacoma, which is a vehicle reserved for those who bought the VIP edition, or the Forza Edition Toyota Trueno, which is also a car, but not reserved for VIPs. This car is available to everyone, but it's tough to get since you must complete nearly everything in the discovery section of the logbook. It takes a long time. I'll show you the Tacoma here and the Trueno over there. These are also cars that are meta in R. Alternatively, the Rimac Nevera, which you can buy at the dealership. Also a castle car, because it's a car you'll only get from wheel spins. In X-Class, it's the same. The Nissan GT-R doesn't move up. I think the Trueno Forza Edition doesn't go up either. So in the end, the only one that's really going to stay meta is the MX-5. Knowing that anyway, playing drag in X-Class doesn't make any sense. Because in the end, X-Class cars, most of the time, get worse times than the top meta S2, which is, as you might have guessed, the Nissan GT-R Forza Edition. If you want to drag race in X-Class, use the MX-5 with the setup I showed you. If you want the best acceleration car in the game across all categories, choose the Nissan GT-R Forza Edition I showed earlier. So we have a meta that's quite unique in drag and acceleration in the game, and it's really extreme. Like usually in Horizon 3, 4, 5 in drag or acceleration, there were always alternative metas. Cars that, let's say, there were always about 10 or 15 models that were top tier. In Horizon 6, the meta is now so narrow that only 2 or 3 models are truly viable. Fortunately, circuit races aren't like this. I'll discuss them soon. As for drag racing, I think this is one of the most overpowered metas we've seen in a Forza game. So there you have it. We've covered all the cars that accelerate best for drag racing and danger signs, and maybe speed traps. I hope this video gave you a little boost. If it did, don't hesitate to show it by subscribing to my channel for free right now. You can also join me on Twitch, you can use your Prime subscription on my Twitch channel to support me, or you can simply follow me. That way, whenever I go live on Twitch, you'll get a little notification, and I stream a lot. So don't hesitate to take a look. And of course, feel free to use the link you'll find below this video, which, as a reminder, lets you buy your games much cheaper than anywhere else. Horizon 6, for instance, the big version is €40 cheaper. Game Pass and PSN cards are also discounted through my link. Thanks for checking it out and watching. See you soon. Ciao!